I'd like to share an update on our workplace safety campaigns. Since January, my ministry has conducted over 15,000 COVID-related workplace investigations and inspections. We visited everything from big box stores in Ottawa to warehouses in Peel Region to diners in Whitby. Our singular purpose is to ensure that workplaces are safe. Safe for workers, safe for business owners, and safe for customers. We know from the tens of thousands of inspections we've done that business owners are eager to keep their businesses open and eager to do so safely. So, when the province started reopening last month, we started offering new two-stage safety visits focusing on helping small businesses. The first visit focuses on education about safety requirements. This includes actions like managing capacity limits, using masks, and screening. If a follow-up visit is needed, within 2 weeks, the business has to show that it's closed the gap in its safety measures or risk being ticketed. I'm so pleased to say that these campaigns are working. In follow-up visits that we've done, we found that compliance rates have risen by 20%. This means 73% of these small shops were in full compliance with the safety requirements on our second visit. These merchants are responding to our customer service approach to health and safety. They've pulled up their socks and they're putting the well-being of their workers and customers first. This means they are ensuring masking, regular disinfecting, and that people are maintaining physical distance from each other. We know we can't monitor every workplace in Ontario all the time, but we can give all workplaces the same kind of education that's provided during these visits. The website, ontario.ca/COVID safety, is dedicated to workplace safety. It's got information on how to create a safety plan, sector-specific guidance, workplace posters in multiple languages, and links to short, concise webinars. And don't forget, we have a dedicated toll-free line for small businesses to ask questions at 1-888-444-3659. One last thing, the results that we're seeing are extremely encouraging. Businesses and workers are learning how to be safe in the current environment. But we're not letting up our inspection efforts. We'll be in communities across Ontario each and every day, helping to maintain safe workplaces. Healthy and safe workplaces are good for business, important to families, and all of our communities. Thanks, and stay safe, everyone. Now we'll be able to take any questions.
We'll go to the phones for questions. A reminder, if you do have a question, to please press *1. First question.
Your first question comes from Ben Appel from 570 News. Ben, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Minister. I'm wondering about the compliance level that we saw from small businesses in Waterloo Region this past week during the Blitz, and how many businesses, percentage-wise, will be getting a follow-up?
Yeah, great question. As I've said, we've done more than 15,000 workplace inspections and investigations just since January, which brings our overall total to more than 42,000 workplaces inspected since COVID-19 hit the province. I'm pleased to say that businesses out there, in particular those small businesses, are improving. They're upping their game to keep their workers safe and the customers safe. We know that good health and safety is good for the bottom line of businesses, and it's also important to obviously keep workers safe, but ensure that customers are feeling confident returning to those businesses. Specifically in the Waterloo region, I can tell you as we speak, we have inspectors and compliance officers visiting businesses. I can't tell you off the top of my head how many they're going to be going into, but for all of those visits or all of those businesses that need follow-up visits, our inspectors will be there.
Follow-up?
Not one right now.
Next question.
Your next question comes from Jeff Gray from the Globe and Mail. Jeff, please go ahead.
Oh, hi, Minister. Hi, thank you. I wanted to ask, there's been a lot of talk about Amazon and this facility in Brampton. And I don't know if you'll have this at your fingertips or not, but are you aware of any other open investigations of Amazon locations in Ontario?
Well, I can tell you our inspectors are out every day into workplaces like distribution centers and warehouses. In fact, in the Peel region, we visited 208 of these in February alone, which brings our total to more than 600 since the pandemic came to Ontario. That Amazon site specifically, that's obviously presenting challenges for their workers and their families. We've been in there a dozen times. We've issued 9 orders, and we continue to work with our local public health units, or local public health unit in Peel to ensure that all of the guidelines are being followed. Jeff, I can tell you that our Ministry of Labour inspectors will be in there before those workers return back to the job, and our inspectors will be there on day one when those workers go back to work. But we continue to visit all types of warehouses and distribution centers all over the province, including Amazon.
Follow up?
And just follow up about that particular site. From what I can see, it looks like inspectors were possibly last there on March the 10th. And I think it's March the 11th that Peel saw fit to shut the whole thing down. My understanding was there was some sort of open investigation that has closed now with no further orders or charges or anything like that. Can you explain that, why that would be, that the inspectors would be there and find nothing, but Peel would shut the place down the next day?
Well, again, we work really closely, and we're in regular contact with the Peel Public Health Unit. That's how we determine, in many cases, which businesses to inspect by seeking the advice of local public health. I can tell you we are partnering with them. We're supporting them in their actions, and we'll continue to send Ministry of Labour Training and Skills Development inspectors into that particular site, even during shutdown, and we'll be there on day one when those workers return to work. I do want every worker across the province to know that they're protected by law to refuse unsafe work. And if they do have any health and safety concerns, they can call our ministry at 877-202-0008, and the ministry will respond. As I've said, we've done more than 600 inspections now of warehouses, including a dozen at that particular site that you mentioned. We do see at a number of workplaces, including the Amazon sites, that there's transmission, obviously, in the community. There's issues with people going to and from work. So there's a lot of complexities to this, but our ministry will be on the ground every day working to protect the health and safety of those workers and continuing to support the local public health unit.
Next question.
Your next question comes from Julie Akotsis from the Windsor Star. Julie, please go ahead.
Hi there. I'm wondering if you can give me any specifics on Windsor, Essex County. For instance, how many businesses might have been visited or anything interesting that was found?
I can tell you that we've had dozens of inspectors in Windsor, Essex, going into all types of workplaces. This particular blitz that we're doing is focused on those small businesses, those small merchants, shops, diners that have 25 or fewer employees. We know these small businesses don't have a big HR department like some of these other big corporations, so we're really going in with a customer service focus to answer questions that small businesses have. We've set up a toll-free number for them, hosting free webinars. We're there to help them transition to reopen and to ensure that their workers and customers are safe. When it comes to the follow-up visits, because we've already done our initial blitz of small businesses in Windsor, Essex, this week we're actually on the ground with inspectors going back for those follow-up visits in Windsor, Essex.
Next question.
Much. No, thank you very much.
Your next question comes from Nick Dixon from CP24. Nick, please go ahead.
Hi, Minister. I just wanted to dig down a little more on the Amazon situation in Brampton. I mean, the way it's been handled by Lawrence Lowe, the medical officer of health there, even the concerns raised by the mayor, the transit union, it seems a little confusing how Amazon has been inspected, but that it seems nothing that serious was found, despite the fact that maybe in the last couple of months, 600 plus employees have actually tested positive for COVID. Is it something specific inside that warehouse that causes the ability for the virus to spread so much? And if so, why has it taken so long to establish and work out that that is happening?
Well, look, as I've said, every business, including Amazon, has to step up and do even more today to fight this invisible enemy of COVID-19. They have to do everything necessary to prevent COVID-19 from entering their workplace, as do all other businesses. Look, there's a lot of elements to COVID-19 spreading. As we all know, it happens in homes, it happens in some workplaces, and it happens between people getting together for gatherings. So we need everybody to continue following public health advice. We support the Peel Public Health Unit and what they've done, but I can tell you we've been into that particular facility a dozen times. We've issued 9 orders, and we're going to continue to go in there. But we work really closely with local public health, and we're going to continue to do that until we get these case numbers eliminated.
Follow up?
Okay, but Amazon is fighting this. When you say we need to do everything necessary, we need to do more, can you be specific? What is everything necessary? What is more? What are they not doing?
Well, one of the blitzes and campaigns that we've launched is a Stay Safe All Day campaign. We know there's transmission in workplaces when workers are on lunch breaks or coffee breaks, or if they're in vehicles going between different facilities. That's why we've been going into literally thousands of workplaces to inspect those types of areas to ensure that workers are being safe all day. We were in that one particular Amazon facility 12 times. We've issued 9 orders, and we've been to about 600 other warehouses and distribution centers right across the GTA and Ontario, and we'll continue to do that. But we are working on a daily basis with Peel Public Health to ensure that we mitigate the risk of COVID-19 from entering workplaces.
Next question.
Your next question comes from Brent Akil from CTV London. Brent, please go ahead.
Hey, Minister, it's Brent Lale here. I'm just in your riding of Grand Bend right now, and I just wanted to ask you about kind of the anomaly. You're riding here in Lambton Shores, gray zone lockdown. 300 meters across the road in Huron County, they're not in red, they're not in orange, they're in yellow. So we've got a discrepancy of about 300 meters. You can go from a lockdown gray zone to a yellow zone. Can you just talk to me briefly about kind of how you guys maybe are handling that, or what you've discussed with your own riding here about you being on lockdown and being right next door to a yellow zone?
Yeah, I understand the frustrations of local small businesses and residents. As you know, Brent, there's 34 public health units, regions across the province. In my riding of Lambton, Kent, Middlesex, we have 3 public health units: Chatham, Kent, London, Middlesex, and Lambton. And we're obviously seeing a number of breakouts in Lambton. My message is, there's hope in sight. We're getting needles in arms. That's why we continue to advocate to the federal government for more vaccines. That's how we're going to eradicate COVID-19 from the province and open up all public health unit regions. I just plead with people to continue working together. We're going to get through this together. We need to get our case counts down in Lambton and move to reopening our businesses at home.
Follow up?
Yeah, are you advising people from, Lambton not to go to Huron, or are you just understanding that, in these tourist destinations like this, people are going to do inter-county travel and just hope that they're, abiding by guidelines and staying safe?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly encourage everyone to follow public health advice. There's a number of outbreaks in Lambton, as you know, a school, First Nations, and some breakouts in Sarnia. I would just encourage everyone to please continue supporting our small businesses with takeout meals, doing a curbside pickup, or going into those retail businesses that are open at 25% capacity. We all have to just work together, support each other. We are going to get through this. Once we get to April, we know that there's going to be millions of vaccines delivered here, and we've got to get to that point where we get more needles in arms as quickly as possible.
Next question.
Your next question comes from James Sharani from Cullinan Enterprise. James, please go ahead.
Hi, Minister. I have another Amazon warehouse question. With over 600 cases, I believe it's the largest workplace outbreak in Peel. And, you know, with everything that you've done, how did this outbreak get so big?
Well, look, again, we need everyone to keep working together. We need all businesses and managers and supervisors and workers to follow the protocols that are in place. It's an invisible enemy. We're using every tool in our toolbox to prevent COVID-19 from entering workplaces. We are, doing inspections. We've done 42,000 plus inspections since the pandemic hit Ontario. We're deploying rapid tests to many workplaces. One rapid testing project that we're unveiling is in the construction industry, for example, where we have the capability now of doing 50,000 tests per week, and I know this is rolling out in other types of workplaces across the province. And then we have, what we need more of, and that's vaccines and needles in people's arms. That's what's going to conquer COVID-19 once and for all in Ontario. But we need everybody to just up their game, follow public health guidance, and we will get through this.
Follow up?
Looking at the Amazon warehouse in Brampton and comparing it to other distribution workplaces in Peel, the numbers are significantly higher. Out of the 12 times that you had visited the warehouse in Brampton, what were they doing differently from the other warehouses that you visited during your blitz?
Yeah, as I said, 208 warehouses and distribution centers in the Peel region visited alone in the month of February. We were in Amazon earlier this week, so that particular warehouse and distribution center we were just at. We continue to see issues in a number of these places, including masking protocols not being followed or physical distancing protocols not being followed. And there's still an issue in some businesses with the pre-screening of workers and customers going in to businesses. So we need to ensure that all of these businesses are following all of the public health advice. Again, to every business out there, every manager and supervisor, we've got hundreds of resources available in multiple languages at ontario.ca/COVID safety. And we need you all to be more vigilant today than at any point during the pandemic.
Seeing as there are no more questions, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.